What's going on? You back, Motor City Sports Talk. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, bell icon button. Had a power surge, a lot of wind was coming on. That's why the stream got cut short. So may come back and do more content, another stream today to give you guys a full stream. But I was almost done anyway. But yeah, let's talk about somebody sent me a question on Instagram. I kind of twisted it up a little bit, and they said, "What about we trade Matthew Stafford for Josh Rosen and picks for Matthew Stafford?" And I'm gonna change it around. And I'll elaborate on that as well and say, what if we just traded for Josh Rosen straight up and had him be the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford? And I understand people saying, well, Josh Rosen is getting a lot of money being a top 10 pick. It's not as much as you think it is, but it would be a burden to carry that cap number of Josh Rosen with the Detroit Lions. It would be a burden because especially if you have no ambitions on Josh Rosen starting the next season or two. So if you don't think he's going to be the quarterback this year, or next year, you still count on Matthew Stafford to be here to take a chance on him right now. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it will work at all. But let's talk about first before we get into the particulars about that, about trading Stafford for Josh Rosen straight up. I think Patricia and Quinn is under so much pressure to win right now. I just don't think that makes sense. You got your guy Matt. You paid him $30 million a year, whatever it was. I think Martha wanted that more than anybody else. And pretty much, how do you explain, trading, Stafford for Josh Rosen? Now, what you have to do is wait until, I think, June? And then if you trade Stafford, then the cap hit goes down to $10 million. So, they're looking to remove Josh Rosen now. So that's one of the reasons it won't work. Right now, the dead money hit, the cap hit is humongous. But if you wait till the June, I think it goes down to $10 million. But still, you have to get a king's ransom for Stafford for Rosen. You will have to get the number 1 overall pick and Josh Rosen, and you might have to give a third up. Now, if you get the number 1 overall pick, there's somebody up there that really tickles your fancy like that, and hypothetical, and I'll put it in the community tab if. This is just a complete hypothetical. It's come out of nowhere. Somebody just came at me on Instagram. I wish I can remember his name. And said, what if they traded Stafford for Rosen? And the only way I can say that's even respectable, and if you get that number 1 overall draft pick back. And then I think that expand the most about the other 1 overall draft pick back is that do you draft another quarterback in Kyle Murray in this situation and let him and Josh Rosen thug it out and then move whoever don't win? Do you take the number 1 pick and take Quinn Williams, take Nick Bosa, which he on my shit list, but I have video on my other channels, no need to elaborate on that anymore. Or somebody else you like? Do you take the pick, move down, get multiple tip picks, trade the Raiders for all 3 of their first round picks, or 2 of their first and 1 of their second, and rebuild your team that way? So the hypothetical is not that it is not that far off. You know what I'm saying? Because if you could trade Matthew Stafford, Josh Rosen, and get Kyle Murray and have them compete, you know what I'm saying, and then move Rosen or whoever lose, down the line for an asset, okay. If you trade them and get the number 1 overall pick, right? And they value Stafford like that, which I don't believe they probably do. But if they do value Stafford like that, at least Adam Gase did with the Miami Dolphins last year, allegedly or reportedly, and you move him for the first and Josh Rosen, you take the first round draft pick and you move it for multiple picks and you rebuild your team that way. It's not that bad, but I just don't see the Lions doing that and taking that dead money hit. After all them years having to clear up with Martin Mayhew, Matt Millen, and them messed up with. But it sounds good, right? Getting 3 firsts, or getting 2 firsts from the Raiders in the second or a third or a fourth, and rebuilding your team through the draft that way. Don't sound too far-fetched off. Or, a guy you like at the top of the draft that much. Or getting Kyle Murray here, letting him compete with Josh Rosen, then moving one down the line. It's not that far off. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it happening in a billion years. But, will people roll with it? I don't know. The love for Matthew Stafford in the city of Detroit is something I've never seen before. But that's Detroit. Detroit standards. I talked about it on the stream today before it ended. Like I said, a power surge. I talked about it before it ended today, that the standards in Detroit has just been lowered. It's like we a city that has had no championships, never had a championship team. Everybody's just content well, just being good enough for the playoffs. Content with the Lions getting there. You know, nobody's holding these owners and general managers accountable to a championship standard that Detroit every now and again is accustomed to. Now, talking about the other side of the pendulum with it, if you go ahead and trade without trading Matthew Stafford, trade a second or a third, whatever it may pick. I don't think it's going to be a first they get for Rosen. You say, okay, we give you a second for Rosen. And let's say in this hypothetical, right? You trade back down in the draft, you get a second. Get additional second, somehow, some way, wherever it go. Or you get additional third. And you trade a third or you trade your second because you got additional third for Josh Rosen. Do you do it? Like I said again, then you carry in the baggage. If you don't plan on Rosen starting the next 2 seasons, you know, then what? And then I mean, you know what's going on with Stafford's wife as well. You know, anything can happen. Now you got Josh Rosen, but do you value Josh Rosen like that? Did you, when you evaluate him through the draft process, do you think he can play? Nah, he didn't have a ton in Arizona, but him and Stafford are similar. Stafford might be a little bit more mobile, but they both got big arms. Rosen is a big kid, strong kid. He can really throw it. So, you know, you wouldn't have to really change the offense for Rosen that much. You wouldn't have to move Jerusalem to get him in the offense. He can get in there and slang it around right now. You got better supporting cast in Arizona around him for the most part. Not offensive line. Well, all the offensive line suck too. 2 receivers. You got a running back, another running back. Could work. You know, did you look for your future in Josh Rosen? Top 10 pick behind Stafford. Don't get paid a lot. And you just rock out with him? Possibly. I'm not against that neither. But they do need a contingency plan around Stafford. Remember, this hypothetical is not, like, this wasn't on my mind until somebody sent it to me on Instagram. So, it wasn't on my mind. You know. So, you know, you look at it that way. You know. So, I think the more thing that's more likely to happen, I don't think neither one will. It's more the draft compensation for Josh Rosen and he back up Matthew Stafford. But if you can get the number 1 overall pick for Stafford, and get a quarterback back in return, that'd be huge. That'd be huge. People act like there's no Detroit Lions without Matthew Stafford. They just think so highly of him. Like, if we lose Stafford, I mean, what's going to happen? Yeah, you probably won't. You probably might be lucky to, let's just say hypothetically, they don't get a backup quarterback. You probably going to be drafting first the next year on some Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning type stuff, right? You might be drafting first next year. You might be. But guess what? You ain't won nothing with them. You ain't won nothing with Matthew Stafford. So how is he the end-all be-all? How is he on this high pedestal? How is he, iconic Detroit sports figure? And he ain't won nothing. It's different for Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders didn't touch the ball every play. Matthew Stafford does. So for people acting like the Lions can't win without Barry Sanders are the same people that's probably scared to switch jobs. They're scared to take chances, scared to be an entrepreneur, scared to get out there and grind and get it on their own. They so stuck in their same lifestyle, working the same dead-end job or the same job for 10, 15 years, complaining about it, and they so scared to bust a move, they so scared to change. I think those people are believing Stafford so bad that they scared to change. But how can you be scared if you already losing? You can't be scared to take a risk to win, especially when you're in a repetitive nature and continue to lose. So, at the end of the day, some of these won't be so far off, but it'll never happen. It will never happen. It will never happen. And like I said, man, I like Rosen. I watched him at UCLA. He was solid, bro. Real solid guy. But for you to expect him to step in right now and take this offense to another level, I don't see it's going to happen. Unless he had one hell of an offseason and we had one hell of an upgrade from Arizona, which could be possible. But it's just my personal opinion on it, man. I just don't see it happening. In the next 2 years, I don't think they're going to want to pay a top 10 quarterback money as far as in the draft and have him ride the pine for 2 years. And then you trade him, and then you don't even get what you gave up for him in the future. So, in the past, I don't see it happening. It just don't make sense. And I don't see them giving a number 1 overall pickup. But I love to hear you guys' opinion on it. Appreciate it, man. Continue to share the videos, man. That's the best way you can donate and help people out. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you have a business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Continue to share the videos, man. And sorry about the stream earlier. I had a power surge. Wind was blowing real hard. So, I'll do more Piston content. And then Pistons play Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Milwaukee.